All right, man. Today is Monday. It's March 1. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. Our guest for today, Snake Draft Monday. Fresh off a suspension, we have Uncle Chaps. Chaps, how we doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Glad to have the suspension. Feels like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. Honest to God, I feel like Elway when he won his first.
So if people don't know, Chaps back in December was leaking draft topics on Twitter.com. I mean, you can't do that for reasons
unintentionally. I didn't know. I need to ask this because we haven't had this conversation really. There needs to be bylaws, I feel like, where everybody signs on.
We would all love that.
Like a docu-sign type thing, like a constitution of sorts. You need to have a ratification process.
Yeah, but even if we had that, we got the judge, the jury, the Congress, the executioner sitting over here to my right, and he would just change it if he felt the need to.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever thought about having a Chicago Tea Party?
We actually should toss Eddie's fucking Diet Cokes out the window and shit.
Chaps, you know that's not true, so please defend me.
Yeah, I'm on Eddie's side here. I'm glad to be back. I'm excited to
Wait a
draft
second.
today.
He's the guy who suspended you, and I had to advocate. I'm like Navalny in Russia, like just trying to get things done that are right.
Yeah,
like, let's get Chaps back in here.
He's got Stockholm syndrome. You've been held in captive by Ed's poor
Yeah, that's
leadership
exactly what it
tactics.
is.
I'm like Sergeant Brody.
Chaps is an ally, so welcome back to the Snake Draft. Today's draft topic will be dog breeds. People have been asking for this one. It's been requested a few times. Chief was like, hey, Chaps, like this was his fucking job at one point in his life, right? So what did you do? Tell us what you did.
Yeah, so I was a dog handler while I was in the Marines. I spent almost 9 years with a leash. My last job that I had, I was the chief Marine instructor at the military working dog school here in Lackland. That's the reason why I live in San Antonio. So I trained people from all the branches of service how to train dogs, and I also trained some of the trainers who were training the dogs. So I've trained hundreds of dogs.
And people, it sounds like.
And people, yeah.
Sounds like you're qualified. I'd like to say this out of the gate as well. These guys on my panel, these guys that I do the show with, that like to slander me all the time, are going to say something at some point in the show that's not true. And it's that I hate dogs. And it's not true, Chaps. I don't hate dogs.
He doesn't like them.
You hate dogs only. The only person who hates dogs more than you is Danny. And Danny's currently, our social media Danny guy.
No, Chaps, my take on dogs is I like dogs an appropriate amount.
Now, what does that mean?
He would never own one on his own.
No, that's not true.
He was hesitant right there.
What?
I think a lot of people's problems with dogs, because my wife was this way as well. If you've only been exposed to dogs who aren't behaved, I don't understand how you like a dog that's not behaved. Like dogs, when you walk into somebody's house, they put their fucking paws all up on you. They scratch your legs up. They're barking all the time. I don't like those dogs either.
Chaps, thank you. That's my point. People are like, they're afraid to say that bad dogs are bad. Like, hey, listen, if you're a bad dog, I'm just
Bad
like,
dogs
that
don't
dog
exist.
sucks.
Bad owners exist.
See, exactly. Here's
Yes,
Dave.
I would agree with that too, Dave.
But Dave could there could be a dog that's like shredded 9 people, and Dave'd be like, oh, great dog, that dog.
I'd say that the
I
dog's
do think
a
that
victim
there
of
is a lot
poor
of you can
circumstance.
change it.
That guy. Maybe Chaps. That's all I'm saying. Is I'm just not one of those people that like, oh, send me puppy pictures, like, and everything's gonna be all warm and fuzzy.
See,
but I like dogs.
I
No,
love
I'm going to
puppy
ask you a
pictures.
direct question, Eddie. How do you feel about Baby Dale Woohoo?
What the fuck is that?
That's
What?
I don't
Baby
know
Dale
that.
Woohoo.
I don't know.
That's Chaps' baby dog.
Oh, that's
That's
your
his
dog.
puppy.
That sounded like a foreign language for a second.
Baby
See?
Dale.
You don't know Baby Dale Woohoo?
Now that
Oh,
you
it's
say
just
it now,
Dale. You call him Dale
it's
all the
baby.
time.
No, I always call him Baby Dale Woohoo. Back me up here, Carl.
It's the greatest
I knew.
dog name on
What's
the
your
internet.
other dog?
My other dog?
Yeah, what's his name?
My other dog's name is Gussie Boy from Heaven Above.
Okay, but you call him Gus. I've heard Gus before.
well, and then you had the video go like super viral where Gus was like, I don't know which one is which, but he had the giant dog on the little itty bitty
Yeah,
bed.
Gus is the big one.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Baby Dale Woohoo is the little one.
Really,
Okay.
really warm story from Chaps because it had snowed in Texas and Gus didn't know where to poop because he's 8 and he's never seen snow before. So Chaps had to take what was it, like a 55-gallon drum you had to like light on fire so you could create.
Yeah,
a
so I have this burn barrel, and Gus was like so sad that he couldn't take a shit in the morning, like, because he never goes to the bathroom in the house and would rather kill himself than do it. Like, he just absolutely won't do it. So I had to bring him outside the snow. There was 5 inches of snow. He's never seen snow in his life. He's smelling around. He can't find grass anywhere. Doesn't know what to do. So he just starts crying. So I have to go to my burn barrel. I put all kinds of wood in there, light a fire where it melts the snow around the area. So then he could go smell the grass, and he takes like the biggest dump ever. It was the best moment.
That's great. Well, Gus, I'm sorry I didn't know Baby Dale Woohoo, but
hey, Chaps, I got a quick question for you. You have exorbitant dog names. I actually like your names. Answer me this: what do you think of naming dogs human names?
I love it. I think it's fantastic.
So would you name a dog Dave?
Their core names are both people names.
I understand that, but they're like still like I'd say they're more like horses' names. But like, would you name a dog Dave or Brian or Ed?
I absolutely would. Yeah.
I met a
can't
dog
do
named
that.
Patrick on the street the other day. I thought that was funny.
that is funny.
Yeah.
That's part of the fun of having a dog is you get to name it weird shit.
Yep.
Well, you
To
named
me.
yours. You didn't even name yours.
I mean, it had a good story behind it. That's why I kept it.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good name and a good story, but you didn't even name your own. You just said that was one of the benefits of having a dog. You didn't even do it. But I like human names for dogs too. Obviously, I got a George. So
I'm out on like Fluffy and like Rover and all that. I'm out on that. But my youngest kid came home the other day and they were like, Dad, I figured out what name I want to name my dog when I get my own. I was like, what? They go, Boomerang. I was like,
That's actually
that's
sick.
a good name.
That's a sweet name for a dog.
I was
Boomerang.
down to George or Doug for my dog. And I went with
Doug's
George.
good.
Doug
Doug's
would have been a
good.
good dog name.
Yeah, Chief helped me name Scotty Puppin.
That's true too. I forgot that.
That's a great one.
There you go. But yeah, before we get into it, I'd like to congratulate myself on the big Adam Sandler draft
What
win.
a fucking crock of shit this was.
Well, what's a crock of shit?
That you showed up 30 minutes late and that we didn't start the draft.
No, Dave. Listen,
Here's-
I get the shtick, but at least
I showed up late and I
hold
got
on, though.
draft
but at
forfeited.
least give my draft some credit.
Your draft
I fucking
was
dominated.
so dominant that we could deduct a percentage point for every single minute you were late, and you'd still win. So you got to give it to him.
Dave, come on.
He had the best draft.
No, it was the best draft, but it shouldn't have ever. He shouldn't have had Veronica Vaughn or who's your guy?
When I got Shooter
Or
and I
Shooter.
wrapped around with Vicky,
it was over.
Veronica Vaughn, I was like, I'm in a
I
good
fucked
spot.
that up. I could have got Chubb probably hand the fifth.
Probably,
round. I was
probably.
having a hard time thinking of props, and then when we listed them all off, I was like, I fucked this. I handed it to you.
But I love Sandler, so I'm happy I won that. So that was right.
Can
in my
we
wheelhouse.
discuss how I'm getting completely bent over a handrail with my ass cheeks?
You are, and I don't know
gaping?
what to do about it, but I acknowledge that you're getting screwed.
Thank you.
I acknowledge that, okay? But I don't know what to do about it. There's
Does
not
that
a
make you
fucking
feel
Well,
better?
Danny says that something's happening that will
There's not a
eliminate
great
me
answer,
getting
so-
completely fucking drilled in the asshole.
So we'll see, okay? But before we get into today's draft, I do want to talk about a new sponsor on this show, a new sponsor for Barstool Chicago in general. They're on Redline Radio as well. It's ChevyDriveChicago.com. Because they're here for the Blackhawks fans today, Patrick Kane's fans. This one's for you. ChevyDriveChicago.com. It's a proud partner of the Chicago Blackhawks. They want to give one lucky fan a signed Patrick Kane jersey. All you need to do is go to ChevyDriveChicago.com to enter to win. That's it. Enter to win the signed jersey from Kaner. Could be yours. Chevy really is bringing this to you at a perfect time. It's time, and it's been time. You've been talking about getting a new car forever as well. So your local Chevy dealer has a hat trick to get your attention. If you're in need of a new vehicle but don't want to visit a dealership, check out Chevy Shop Click and Drive. Chevy shop online 24/7, take delivery at home. It's simple, it's seamless, it's smart. All you have to do is shop, click, and drive. Head to ChevyDriveChicago.com to find your new ride, latest offers, and local Chevy dealer. Everyone loves a power play. Shop, click, and drive. Drive what Kane and Taze drive. Chevy, welcome aboard.
Great. I mean, if anybody who's watched a Blackhawks game for the last decade has seen those Taves and Kane commercials. I love that they're coming on board. It feels like natural for us to have like the same sponsor as the Blackhawks. Have a chance to get a Patrick Kane jersey. Like, I'm not a memorabilia guy. I want that.
No brainer. No
Yeah,
brainer.
he's
We're
the
gonna
man. Yep.
get a jersey, get a Silverado. All
Put your
right.
dog in the front seat.
So the official dog breed draft order is Chief, Carl, Whitesoxdave, Eddie, and Uncle Chaps is last. Chief, you are on the clock.
All right, this is an easy one for me. I'm going very chalk. It's a dog that I had 3 of them in my lifetime. I'm going with Labrador Retriever. They got those big dumb heads. They have the best personality. They're so sweet. They can be smart. I've never had a smart one, but I know
they can be. Yeah,
they can be. Like they've used them for bomb sniffing dogs. They've used them as like police dogs. They can do all, and they're obviously like the really smart ones are great for hunting. If you're into that, I'm not a hunter, but they're just like the perfect family dog. And like I had 3 great ones in my life. Shout out Murphy, Riley, and Mackie.
This takes chocolate, yellow, and
so Labrador Retriever.
and
that's
black.
one single breed.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So can't go wrong with the lab. They're the best.
Well, Labrador
Perfect family
Retriever
dog.
labs are in play though, right? Like a black lab.
That's
what I just
said.
said.
Okay, those are the same thing.
Yeah.
Like my brother has a black lab from a shelter, and that's the same thing as like a golden Labrador Retriever.
Yeah. Well, there's not a golden
I think,
Labrador
Chaps, can
Retriever,
you
but
confirm?
yes.
No, that's absolutely wrong. I mean, you could do it for the draft, but they are not the same breed.
No, black lab, yellow lab, and chocolate lab.
They're all Labrador
Yes, but
Retrievers.
golden retriever is not.
No,
a
that's not what he
like in
said.
that same.
That's not what he said. He said a golden lab, which
Oh
is,
yeah, it's just that's just color differentiation.
Right, for
but
yellow, yeah.
but
yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so a golden retriever, which I assume will be picked soon, that's a totally
I'm
different breed.
stunned
What?
that you took that.
Why? That's,
I mean,
that's a dog I
it's
grew
a
up with.
fucking
I've had
awesome
3 of them
dog.
in my life.
I love labs.
Yeah.
But it's just like you think Chief would get a little cute. Like I think it's definitely a number 1.
What do you
but
think he's picking a Shar-Pei or
well,
something?
it's just like I'm surprised a Tennessee Smoky. I don't even know what that is, but like I'm just surprised.
There's time for it. You
Yeah.
know, I think there's time for it, and it'll be interesting to see if like Whitesoxdave wants to take.
There's a reason I picked 3.
Okay.
Number
labs
3.
rule though.
They're
Labs are
they're the
fucking
best.
awesome.
They're like
You take a risk though that your dog's not there on the wrap.
I don't think so because I'll explain why. I think I'll be able to get George later in the draft. So
I used to have a chocolate lab named Carl, and I trained him to find remote controls.
Oh,
So
wow,
when
that's awesome.
When I lost my remote control, I'd be like, seek it out, and he would look all around the house and find my remote control for me.
There is nothing
I love
worse.
Carl, dude. Was Carl the man?
Oh, Carl. My bitch of an ex-wife gave Carl away while I was in Iraq.
Oh my
What?
god,
Found out 4 days after I got shot.
oh my god.
Carl.
I hate your ex-wife.
Me too, buddy.
I hate her. That's bullshit.
That's
oh my
terrible.
god.
Chaps,
Yeah.
can I send my dog to you for like 2 weeks for like a boot camp?
You know, people always assume that my dogs are like that, but after being in the military and doing it every day, all day, like having my dogs at home, I just want them to be happy puppies and well behaved, but they don't know how to like roll over and do all kinds of tricks like that anymore. I just want them, if I tell you to go lay down on your pillow, I want you to do it. Don't bark at anyone ever. If they're in the house, you can bark at people outside, but never inside. Don't ever bark inside. And whenever I tell you to go outside to pee, that's what you do. Other than that, I don't care. Do whatever you want.
That's how I am.
Then that's my dog pretty much.
I had 2 labs growing up. I had a yellow and a chocolate. The yellow lab we called the garbage dog because he ate fucking everything. He got up to 150 pounds when he died. The chocolate lab was the most athletic lab I've ever seen. That dog could fucking fly. And the one issue with labs, in my experience, is that they do tend to get overweight very easily. And they're so lazy typically that like they don't really want to run that excess energy off.
My dog Riley that I had, the black lab, the last lab I had, I thought he was going to live forever because they were like, oh, like the big thing you have to worry about with labs is their hips.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, there is no miles on this dog's body. Like he moves like 6 feet all day. And so I'm just like, he'll just be fine. And then he wasn't.
There's 2
But-
classifications of labs too. Like you have a working type of lab. Those dogs are usually going to be stay underneath 50 pounds, and they're going to be those are the types that you see doing bomb sniffing. And then you have a larger lab that are more like bred to be house pets and things like that, but they're bred completely different for completely different purposes.
Those ones are bred for me to just grab him by his head and just like give him kisses.
The best, man. Lazy, fat chocolate lab is the best.
All right, labs off the board. Carl, you're up.
Okay, second overall pick. This is brought to you by Right Way Rescue in Morton Grove, located at 5915 Lincoln Avenue in Morton Grove. This is where I got Scotty Puppin. You can visit them at right-wayrescue.org or DM me for more information. I'm taking second overall pick. I'm taking a golden retriever. Yep. To me, I thought that would go 1 overall, but I didn't grow up with dogs. Like my buddy had a golden retriever, and it was cool to play with. I think Chief coming in with Labrador Retriever and having 3 of them is a very good first overall pick. There's personal attachment there. So coming into I had another dog I was thinking about if you went golden, but because you went Labrador Retriever, I feel comfortable taking golden second overall. And then because I think it's like it's in the same realm in category of like a tier 1 family dog. Throw a bandana around a golden retriever. It's just like a beautiful dog.
Great personality, smart, athletic,
Airbud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to make a request that for my graphic pick for Lab, I get to use one of my own dogs.
Well, I'm not. Ken Jack's making it. So
All right, well, I will be sending it to Ken Jack.
All right, fine.
I think it's a safe pick.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I had 3 that could have been interchangeable 1 through 3 in my
Bud,
opinion.
dude.
I do think this draft is one in the 4th round. I think we'll
think so
have
too,
good ones
yeah.
in the 5th. I think there's some chalk rounds 1 and 2, and then I think 3 is where it gets interesting. But I really do think the 4th round, and especially because we don't have categories, it's just breed. So I think this is an opportunity for you to really get personalized.
Yeah. Chaps, anything on golden retriever?
This is going to be controversial. I think they're kind of overrated.
Why do you say that? They can be
I
a
just
lot
think that
jumpy and like
for one,
yappy.
it's a problem in they shed so much. Their hair is constantly everywhere. Now, if you switch that up and have golden retriever and lab mix, like a Labradoodle golden retriever mix where they don't shed anymore, I'm in. But as like a person that has a home, I don't want golden retriever hair everywhere.
It's long hair too, and you have to like take them to get it. Like there's the
Yeah.
grooming and the shedding. Where a lab will shed, but you don't really have to get it groomed. It's like a whole different thing.
All right, golden retriever off the board. Whitesoxdave, you're up. I assume you're happy because I know what you're going to take.
Yeah, so I took 3 for a reason. So a little behind the scenes, I had the first overall pick to choose where I was going to draft. I took 3 for a reason because I think 1 through 3 are all interchangeable. Chief's pick with the lab, that was easy in 1 through 3. Carl's pick with the golden retriever, that was easy 1 through 3. I'm picking a German Shepherd. Yeah. It is an easy top 3 pick to me. I've never owned one, and I've tried to adopt one on 2 separate occasions, but I can't in Chicago because they need land. They need to run around. They are so fucking smart. They're so loyal. And that you can roughhouse with them, but they know, like, if there's an intruder coming in, I think they have, like, and Chaps, you could probably speak to this, you definitely can, better than I can, but I think they, like, know the difference between someone who's a friend coming in and someone who shouldn't be in the home, and they would rip their face off if they needed to. Just awesome dogs. They're beautiful to look at. I think they're so, like, such pretty animals. And I like the moment I have a home of my own, and I know they have the shedding factor. That everyone told me to get a Roomba, or what's it called, a Roomba?
Yeah,
get a Roomba if you do get a German Shepherd. I understand that's like part of the experience of having a German Shepherd. But the moment I can get a German Shepherd, that's absolutely happening.
Okay, you're already finding Ace's replacement. That's sad. We've had him for about a month.
No, I'll have 2 dogs.
I've looked up like how much a fully trained German Shepherd costs. They come
Expensive.
out. Yeah, it's like 25-30 grand.
Yeah, very
And
expensive.
I'm going to pull a little trick out
But
of
they're
Carl's
trained
books.
like you can. I mean,
Oh,
they
they're
come
so
with
smart.
commands,
Yeah.
and they like just instantly attach to your family.
And that pick
shit.
was brought to you by Chicago Canine Rescue on the Northwest Side,
that's one of mine. I got 5 of these picked
5272
out.
North Elson Avenue in Chicago. That's where I got my dog Ace. They were great people. So if you're looking to adopt, I highly recommend they have my endorsement.
Chaps, you got to love German Shepherds, right?
I'll explain the German Shepherd when I give my pick in the first round.
Okay. I like that. German Shepherds are fucking awesome.
They're cool.
They're cool fucking dogs.
I can't wait to hear Chaps picks.
I don't have a lot of German Shepherd experience though. I gotta say.
I don't either, but I mean, I see them at the dog park all the time. They're
It's
fucking
definitely
great.
a dog you see and you go, man, I'd like to have one of those in my
Yeah.
crew.
Because they're not
I
like
don't think they
cute
take
dogs?
away from your dogs. Like my dog
they're
Scotty,
cute. You think
he
so?
would go well with a German Shepherd because they function differently. We're like Scotty, I'm like, yeah, give me kisses and lay on the fucking couch with me and just be my little emotional partner. The German Shepherd though, it's like a family work dog.
Yeah, I just think they're badass.
They're badass.
They're badass.
They can
rather
be
than
sweethearts when they need to be.
Russian army could have used some of them.
All right, I'm up. I definitely don't know why I took the 4th. I should have took the 2nd. I had the option. I'm going to struggle in this draft. I'm going to put that out there.
Not a dog
early.
guy.
Sure. I'm going to go off. Kind of tailing off the mascot draft here. I'm going to go with the Bulldog.
Which kind?
Slobbering is a problem.
You have to choose a kind.
Yeah.
Just
they're-
not French.
yeah,
You want the
he
Yaga.
means English.
Yeah.
Okay, so English Bulldog.
English Bulldog. Short lifespans, I understand.
That's the
the
one
toughest part
drawback.
about
And
'em.
they're super expensive and
Enormous
hard to
vet bills.
Yeah.
Enormous all the time. They're constantly sick.
Yeah, and I acknowledge that, but at the same time, like that's just that's a dog you could rally around.
breed. A
Dave?
big
You
waddling
get
bulldog. I
instant
love 'em.
reaction when a bulldog
Oh,
walks
yeah.
in.
Oh, yeah.
Instant from everyone.
They're so ugly, they're fucking handsome and pretty.
My buddy from
Snore their asses off though.
my buddy from college got a puppy when we were like maybe 24, 25, and it just girls were rushing out.
Oh,
of the
yeah.
bar.
Yeah?
They
Oh,
walk
yeah.
down the street and they would just rush out of the bar to pick up her name was like Penelope or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Those things are expensive
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
man.
You can't breed them because they physically are like, they can't fuck.
right.
So you have to like artificially inseminate them a lot of times to breed them.
Bulldogs can't fuck, chap.
They
Chaps?
can, but
Bulldog-
it's very difficult for them.
Yeah, they fuck some, but they don't fuck a lot. They got, I mean, no offense to any bulldogs that are listening, they got pretty little dicks.
Oh,
The little dick breed. Yeah.
okay,
Girthy, but short.
okay. Well, good.
Yeah, I can't argue with an English bulldog though. Other than I would never get one. Price is too much, and they don't live long. Like 5-6 years is pretty much it.
English Bulldogs off the board. That's my pick. Uncle Chaps, you are up. You have 2 picks.
I'm going to go with the greatest military working dog of all time, and that's the Belgian Malinois.
Yep.
The Belgian Malinois is by far the best working breed. It is what everyone thinks a German Shepherd is, but it's much, much better. They are, so an average German Shepherd will weigh 75 to 90 pounds. An average Belgian Malinois will weigh 45 to 50 pounds, 55 pounds, but they are fast as lightning. They will work all day long. They bite harder than a German Shepherd. They have better noses than a German Shepherd, and they'll work for hours and hours and hours without ever getting tired. They are incredible. They are immensely loyal to their handlers. To this end, when I was in Iraq, when I got shot, no one could have come near me if I didn't tell Psycha to out and to stop. Like when I was bleeding out, when I was bleeding a lot, he was protecting me and barking his ass off until I told him to stop. I had to give him a toy, and I walked him on the helicopter. I had to put a muzzle on his face while he was in there. He didn't want the flight copters, doctors, or anything to come near me. Another handler had to be the one to come and get him from like the surgical center so he could go away. They're unbelievable dogs.
That's a
Belgian
fucking
Malinois.
awesome story.
That's why I love dogs in general. Like, I mean, obviously that dog was trained, but just knowing that animal
Trap's
was
over.
so fucking loyal to you, I just love that. Like, that's why they're man's
What was
best
the
friend.
dog's name, Chaps?
Psycha.
Psycha?
Chaps,
Yep,
do you
I
have,
ch-
do
You
you,
should only put Chaps on the graphic this week out of respect for that story.
is there something you do during training of those dogs to like foster that loyalty, or is it just part of their breed? Okay.
That's a great question. This is the basic tenets for training or getting to know any dog of what I recommend whenever you first get a dog. One, always be the first person to feed the dog. That is where they derive like all of their sense of loyalty to. All of their food, all of their love, all of their water, everything comes directly at your hands. So they look at you as like the bounty of life. And that's why they want to protect you, because every single thing good in their life comes from you. Their toy, their play, their prey, every single thing comes from your hands. And if you're not around, they don't know where they're going to get any of that stuff. That's how you develop loyalty in your dog.
Yeah, that's a great
interesting.
tip.
Yeah.
That's a great. Honestly, I just Googled a picture of it because I wasn't familiar with it.
Yeah,
it does look like exactly like a German Shepherd. So.
That was what, do you
just
remember?
they have a longer mask, shorter hair, and they're smaller. But they are little. Now they will make terrible pets though, because they are like their nicknames are Maligators. Like they are just insane. So if you have them in your house, I would not recommend like the average person just to go pick up a Malinois from a breeder, because they will destroy your home. But if you know what you're doing and you can control them and harness that energy and you have the ability to work them all the time, there's no better dog in the universe.
What are they most commonly used for in the military? Or are they just kind of?
I mean, they are legitimately the only all-purpose dog in the military. You can use a German Shepherd for everything, but a Belgian Malinois is just good. They can track people. They can locate bombs. They can locate drugs. They can attack people. They can be search and rescue. They can do cadavers. They can do anything under the sun that any dog could do. They track as well as a bloodhound. They have strong as nose as a Labrador when you're talking about drug detection. Every single aspect of the other good working dogs are all combined into a Belgian Malinois.
All right, I love when I learn new stuff.
When we
thank you,
educational.
chaps.
We played catch in the park in Lincoln Park this summer, and that little
It's
puppy
not.
cane. I'm pretty sure that was a Belgian
It was
Malinois.
Norwegian something.
All right,
Okay,
chaps, you're on the clock again.
All right, so I'm going to go a completely different direction for this one. This dog, I believe, is the smartest dog that there is, and that's an Australian Shepherd.
Fuck.
I
Great
love them.
pick.
They
We
are
got
just
those in my
so-
family. My brother's got one. His wife's got one from her family, and so like over the last year and a half or so, I've spent a lot of time. I'm sorry to react and take this. I just love the pick.
They are incredible, man. Like, they are great around kids. I saw one. There's one that's on like a YouTube channel, and this dog can identify, I think it's 350 individual toys, where the owner can be like, go get the hammer, and the dog will run over there and get the toy hammer. Go get the newspaper, and go get the
Jesus.
newspaper. 350 individual words this dog has learned. It's just, their brains are unreal. They're so soft. They don't shed a whole lot. They're perfect house dogs.
They're so
Perfect.
pretty. They got
They
the
are very
eyes, too.
energetic.
Yeah.
They are.
They'll
Yeah.
chase
They are.
anything, and
They're
like
herding
bring you
dogs.
their toys.
Yeah.
and, you know.
So when I take my dog to the dog park, there's a bunch of Aussie Shepherds there, and it's cool watching them work because they try to like wrangle all the other dogs into like a pack, kind of like they're cattle or something. And Aussie Shepherds are the best though. They're super pretty dogs. I'm surprised that I thought I was gonna be able to get that later, but great dogs, awesome dogs.
All right. Australian Shepherd off the board. Chaps, he knows what he's doing. We're in a lot of trouble. Back to me. I'm going to take a beast of a dog. There's a lot of big dogs, and respectively to them, this is the one that I found to be the friendliest out of like the massive dog category. I know it's kind of a chalk pick, but I actually do enjoy them because I think they're adorable as well. But I'm going to go with the St. Bernard.
Great
So,
movie.
Beethoven.
My grandma had a St. Bernard. The other, that's just like the Bulldog. They don't live long at all.
Yeah, and
But they're
I don't
great
want to
dogs.
name other dogs, obviously, because you can't name
Yeah.
other picks. But like I said, as far as like the big dog categories, I found them to be the friendliest, and I've enjoyed them the most.
A lot of hair.
I would love to have a Saint Bernard and get order from on Etsy, put its name, like let's say his name is Roger, and
barrel.
put it on one of those little barrels that has like root beer inside of it, and he brings it to you.
Would be great.
God, it'd be incredible.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. A lot of hair though, but I think everybody.
great dog.
Everyone loves a Saint Bernard.
Yep.
Everyone loves a
Same
Saint
thing.
Bernard.
Like I love the dogs with the big heads.
Yeah, it's just-
he's got one of the
But you can
biggest.
just hit really hard when you're petting them, just like pop, pop, pop.
and it's like
Exactly.
sounds hollow, and he
Yeah.
loves it. So I love a good Saint Bernard.
Do you have a lot of experience with them, chaps?
No, because Saint Bernards are great for super cold weather environments, but the military and like people down here, you're not going to have a Saint
Yeah.
Bernard in Texas, but they are primarily for cold weather regions, and working dogs, you need to have ones that are adaptive to any type of climate.
Yeah, that makes sense. So all right, Saint Bernard off the board. That big melon. Dave, you're up.
So I'm gonna go with my dad has one now. His name is Guinness. He's part this breed, and then my current dog Ace is also part this breed. Great dogs. Only issue that I've had with them is they slower nonstop. I'm gonna go with the Boxer. They can be kind of dumb, but they're just. I don't mind dumb dogs at the same time, but they're super friendly. They're athletic. Great for, take them to the dog park, family friendly. They don't shed a lot, which is a huge plus because that's a pain in the ass. But Boxer, I love Boxers.
It's Carl's dog.
Very protective breed too. They love their owners.
He's part
They're very
Boxer, so is
protective.
mine.
Yeah, he's part, and there's other. It's not the sentimental part that I'm attached to.
No, so it's not like Dave. Why'd you take my dog?
Yeah, my reaction was like, well, why did you react? Because I didn't.
I thought because he took your dog.
My dog's part Boxer too.
I would have been more
Aces?
upset if he took something else. I don't think the part that I like of Scotty, and I don't.
Yeah, he's
actually I
part
like
boxer.
all
I
of it,
just
Scotty.
told you
But
that.
there's a part of. I think there's a breed of him. We'll get to it later in the.
What did you say, chaps? Is very loyal.
Yeah, they're very
very
loyal.
loyal.
They're great. Like they'll protect you big time. When I grew up, that was the dog I had, was a boxer named Sugar, and I used to put on rollerblades, and Sugar would wear a harness, and I would tell her to go, and she would drag me all around the neighborhood and like pull me like she was running a sleigh. She was so fast. That dog was
Great
blazing
athletes.
fast. Love boxers.
There you go.
Dante, that's like the only
Boxer.
dog he's ever had until his current dog.
I think he had a bulldog too.
He had
English
he had a
bulldog?
terrier of some kind.
He's had a bunch of boxers, I know.
All right, Carl, you're back up.
Okay, the next pick is brought to you by Paws Chicago, located at 1997 North Clybourne in Lincoln Park. You can go to them at pawschicago.org. I am taking a Siberian Husky. I think that's different. I think it's out there a little bit. We talk about value later in the draft. I hate to do this with dogs to like put him into my like draft mode, but just looking at differences and all that stuff, I just love the way a Siberian Husky shapes up. And if we had to take like a family picture at the end, the way I'm picturing this, like the 5 dogs together, I like the way a Husky plays. Obviously, and Chaps, please chime in when I'm done. They shed a lot, but they have beautiful eyes, and I think their lifespans are a little shorter, and they're kind of difficult to manage in warm climates.
Now you going Husky, same color, both blue eyes, or are we going one blue, one green with the Max Scherzer feel?
I'll go Max Scherzer. I like that. I'll go Max Scherzer.
I love it.
That's
the right
part
answer,
of being
yeah.
a husky. Like the 2 different color eyes is just awesome looking. I think they are the most probably I should say the most like aesthetically pleasing dogs, but they're not that social. Like they're not a bad family dog, but they're not gonna like fuck around with the little kids and shit.
You think
they
they're a
kind
little
of
prissy?
They kind
I
of stick
disagree
to
with
themselves
that.
a
Their
little
puppies are so cute.
They're so cute.
I don't think so. I think that they're good family dogs. The one thing that will annoy some people, like Eddie, for example, who's not a huge dog guy, just an average dog guy,
Thank you.
he would say that a Husky
appreciate
too talkative because they are very talkative.
Really?
vocal.
Not like barking, but just like all the time.
It's a great dog. It really is a beautiful dog, but sometimes they scare me a little bit though. You
Call
ever
the
get a little
Wild?
scared of them? Yeah, they look a little.
wolf. They look like wolves.
Yeah, exactly. It makes me a little frightened.
Fun fact, a little science lesson. Every single dog is developed from the wolf. That's where they all come
Have you ever
from.
seen Cosmos?
Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah.
I think it's the first or second episode.
Yeah.
Just blows your mind with
It's
that.
crazy that a
Really?
Chihuahua
Oh,
was
yeah,
a
it's
wolf.
awesome.
Traces all the way back to tens
Little
of
Beowulf?
thousands of years ago.
It was like a
in North
symbiotic
America.
relationship how we domesticated dogs because like when humans weren't at the top of the food chain, dogs would protect them, and in return their penance was the humans would feed them. So that's how
scraps.
it came to be. Yeah.
And breeds are not natural. Like this is the first time in recorded history where there has been legitimate microevolution recorded in specific species at the hands of another species because we have desirable traits in other animals. So whenever we do that and break them off, we ruin entire bloodlines. For a great example of that is the Dalmatian. When the Dalmatian was first introduced as a species, it was the single smartest, most likely mammal besides dolphins and humans that there is. Like Dalmatians, when they were first bred, were insanely smart. They're the original working breed, but we've inbred them so much now that they're damn near stupid, where you can't do anything with them. Like they're just dumb.
Kind of a shame.
It's kind of a shame, but there's nothing wrong with a dumb dog.
Yeah.
No,
I love
like
having
dogs.
dumb
Yeah.
dogs. Yeah.
Is
George smart?
Husky.
George is smart, yeah.
Good pick.
Sorry for anybody that was going to draft Dalmatians, by the way.
That wouldn't actually deter me from drafting them, but
I mean, that is technically strike 2 for Chaps on giving away picks, but I won't say nothing.
Carl or Chief, you're up.
threw me off.
What happened? How did
you're
I
not
give away
supposed
picks?
to like list off like other potential picks that haven't been taken.
Even if it's obvious. Even when you said Golden Retriever, I think in the first round.
Yeah.
Carl said that, to be honest.
okay. Sorry,
That
I'll
was
refrain.
a slip.
Yeah.
It's all right, chaps. You're spitting such good facts that I think I'll allow it because I
Yeah.
think people want to hear.
It's
this.
for the greater good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's so interesting. This is like a crossover draft / Tuesday episode. with
It
all
is
the
kind of
knowledge.
like that, yeah.
So I enjoy it. But you're up, Chief.
I'm going with my other dog. I'm taking the Coonhound. I'm taking George the dog. So great breed. I love their coloring. They're like he's a little bit too smart. I think I've told you this story, Dave, but his leash snapped one time, and I was like, I'm talking maybe 12 blocks away from my house, and I used to like zigzag because when he gets hot, he just will lay down unless we're walking towards home.
Say, fuck
So I
this.
try to like disorient him and like trick him into like, hey, like we're still like going to a new place, and the leash just broke, and he took off, and I couldn't catch him because he wouldn't come. He's still puppy training, and I'm like sobbing, like walking through the streets of Ukrainian village, like calling him. My phone's about to die. Gets dark, so I'm like, I'm gonna go home in case like somebody like found him, or like I need to charge my phone in case somebody finds the collar and calls me. And he's just waiting for me on the top of the steps. So like he made it across Ashland, Damon, and Western Avenue, and we were like way far away, like into like
West Town.
Well, yeah, basically into like Noble Square area. And so yes, are they smart? Yes, they're super loyal, great dog. They and he is a little bit vocal, like you're talking about, where like he will like complain, but I kind of think it's cute. And they have this thing where like they're bred to just like chill all day. So and then when it's time to work, then they can work forever. So when the temperature's right, he's a little personally finicky, doesn't like the heat. But if it's like 60 degrees, like we can go on an 8-mile walk, and we have, and he's just fine. So great dog, love the Coonhound. So glad I got him. I just saw his picture on the internet. I'm like, I have to have this dog, and I got him. And so I'm glad to have him on the draft.
Do you want to shout out his shelter?
Yeah, I would. It's Mercer Animal Rescue. So I actually found George just on petfinder.com, and Mercer Animal Rescue, which is a national shelter agency where they find these dogs and they put them all together in advertisement. Like his whole litter was brought up from Tennessee, and there's actually 2 other stoolies who got dogs from that litter, and you all pick them up the same spot. So every once in a while, I get like updated pictures on George's like brothers.
That's adorable.
And so it's
sweet.
Yeah, so Mercer Animal Rescue is the shelter. Yeah. But
I also
Coonhound.
love that all you guys are shelter dog havers. I think that's the way to
Fuck
go.
puppy
man.
mills.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I hate that shit.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Well, I mean,
Fuck 'em.
okay.
It's not the
It's
dog's
fucked.
fault.
No, I mean it's not
Yeah,
the
it's not
dog's
the dog's
fault, but it's the
fault.
people. Save
But
a
some
dog.
people are like hypoallergic, and instead of having a dog,
Yeah.
it's better than not having a
I was
dog.
going with the group.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And those dogs are already born. Like the ones
Yeah,
that are
yeah. I'm not saying fuck the dog. I'm saying
they're
fuck
not
the
going to be
people.
born too.
Are you- wait.
But my dog, Baby Dale Woohoo, he was rescued after being a hurricane dog in Houston. Got out of whatever house he
really?
was in. Was one of the 1,500 or so dogs that was picked up and brought to San Antonio, and that's how I got him.
It's a cool story.
Chief, you're up again.
All right, so I'm going with the dog. It's one of those ones I feel like I might have been able to get in the 5th round, but I've been seeing him around more lately, and I just think it might be the most beautiful looking dog. And we actually saw him when we went to Blagojevich's house. It's called a Greater Swiss Mountain Dog, tricolor. They're black, white, and brown, which is I guess similar to George, where they got the big and they're huge, but they're mostly black. They got the big kind of like teddy bear looking head. Short hair, so there's another dog that's sort of similar in color and size, but he has like the longer, more like golden retriever hair. I don't like that as much, so I'm going with a Greater Swiss Mountain Dog, which is a short hair, and they're supposed to be just great. Like they're just these big, huge dogs, and absolutely.
Oh yeah, these are
beautiful-looking
awesome dogs.
And sometimes they can have the light eyes too. But yeah, they're an awesome dog. Do you guys remember seeing that dog at Blagojevich's
Now I do.
house? Yeah.
I had to Google it,
look
but
it
yeah. I just want to wrestle with this guy.
That's a nice looking dog.
Yeah.
I don't know much about it. Chaps, you got anything on this guy?
I don't know much about that one.
The Greater Swiss Mountain
Greater
Dog.
Swiss Mountain Dog, yeah.
There you go. Looks sharp.
I also, I pulled up, I guess it's the AKC, the American Kennel something, just for like a list of dog breeds. The Germans and the Swiss make a lot of dogs. So you're talking about chaps is like, hey, like these, like what would you call it, chap? Microevolution? Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot of it going on in like that part of the world specifically. It's Germany, Swiss, and then like those like Northwest Europe.
Russia
countries.
and Czechoslovakia was big on it too. Like if you've never seen a Czechoslovakian Shepherd, oh, buckle up. Those fuckers are huge. They're like 120 pounds. I used to have one that was one of the only working dogs I've ever seen that was a Czechoslovakian Shepherd. This dude's name was Santo. He was 120 pounds. And I used him whenever I was working for presidential security. And we would take, like if Barack Obama needed to go somewhere, we would do sweeps and shit like that. We went to, when Barack Obama was giving a speech shortly after he was inaugurated, he did this big event at the Lincoln Center in New York. And it was me, Billy Joel, John Legend, and Bruce Springsteen in a room. And I had Santo with me. Billy Joel's warming up on the piano, doing a sound check and shit. Santo's looking for all kinds of, like, he's looking for bombs and stuff like he normally would, and takes a big old fucking dump.
Oh my God, what a story.
Right there. Like, huge. And Billy Joel looks up from the piano and he's like,
What the fuck is that?
I can't sing with this. That smells terrible. And I was like, I know, man. I'm sorry. We'll get somebody to pick it up, but I can't do it. I got to keep searching. And he was like, do your job.
That is
goes back to
unbelievable.
That's an
Wait.
unbelievable
That's
story.
awesome.
That is
Have
unbelievable.
you told that anywhere before?
Probably on CBT before, yeah. But Santo was pretty notorious shitter. He also shit whenever we went to the Gaylord Museum, our hotel in just outside of DC for the Commandant's Ball. And there's this huge carpet at the Commandant's Ball that has the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor, the symbol of the Marine Corps. And as soon as Santo goes over top of it, and this is like it's almost like in a hockey locker room where you don't step on the logo.
Yeah.
Like, you don't step on the logo here. Santo goes, because he was off leash at the time, he goes and goes right onto this big carpet, takes a fucking dump right on it. And the same thing, I have to continue searching. So one of the cleaning staff has to come over. I'm searching the rest of this hotel big conference center. And this poor woman it looks like a dinosaur shit. And she's like picking it up and putting it into her cart and like dry heaving. I felt so bad for her. It was terrible.
Do you think it's funny watching dogs poop? Like, if
Oh
you're
yeah, I
driving down
love to do it.
Yeah,
I
it's
bring
one
my
of my
wife to
favorite
the
things
window
ever.
whenever Gus goes.
Hey,
I'm like,
look,
check
he's
this
taking
out.
a poop.
Check this out. All right, Greater Swiss Mountain Dogs off the board. Carl, you're up again.
All right, this is tough because I'm still in the mode where I want to be stacking really popular dog breeds. Like,
I'm getting away from that too now.
because I'm starting to feel like, do I want to go now this personal route where I really like these dogs I've seen over the dog park, but I still think there's like a top 1 or 2 round dog on the board, and that's a French Bulldog. So I'm going to take the French Bulldog, active, fun, sporty little dog. I've got the Golden Retriever, the family dog. I've got the Siberian Husky, kind of a little bit more unique, exotic. And then I think a French Bulldog kind of rounds out my group real well. I like their playful attitudes, and I kind of like a smaller dog, especially as an urban guy. Like, I need a small dog in the house. Funny story, when I went to pick up Scotty Puppin, I had maxed out. I told my wife, I was like, the max size I think I'm ready is like maybe 40 pounds because we lived in a 400 square foot apartment. On the 28th floor, it was like, we don't want a big dog, big shits, a lot of trips down. And so when we got Scotty, I think he weighed in at like 45 pounds when we first looked at him. And we're like, will he get any bigger from this? And they were like, yeah, he's probably like, I think he's about as heavy as he could, maybe 50. And so right now, Scotty's about 75, 78 pounds.
Yeah.
Big fucking dog.
He's big.
These people at like the shelters, God bless them, they do a great thing. They have no idea what the fuck they're talking
It's just
about.
like, take the dog. We like dogs, take the dog.
Yeah, they
I'll go
told me
by
the
and
same
see
thing.
like a sign that'll be like, oh, this is this dog. And I'll be like, that is not what that is. Like, not even close.
I like French Bulldogs.
Yeah, it's a
They're
French
they're
Bulldog.
okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I would never get one because I like to be able to roughhouse with the dog personally. Just fuck around with it, smack it around a little bit. But French Bulldogs, in my experience, are really fucking dumb. Like, they're just not smart dogs. Yeah, Chaps, don't laugh. You know what I'm talking about. Chief
I didn't
does
even
too.
giggle, Dave.
You
You were
You're
about to
projecting.
giggle.
You're projecting. If you want to slap around your dog, that's on you.
I mean, in a playful way. I
I thought
bop
you were
its
going
nose
like
and make
the-
them
I
like
didn't giggle.
make them like
You're
do that
projecting
thing where
there.
they stick their feet out
All right.
ready to pounce.
And not to cross over too hard, Chaps, but you caught a bigger striped bass and I took home a dog from that day.
Right. Got a 48-pound striper.
He's a
I was just, good. Thanks for clarifying, Dave. I just want to make sure you weren't like the clown in Air Bud who was smacking with the newspaper.
I haven't seen it. No.
All right. Dave, you're up. Speaking to you.
So this is another dog that is kind of like, we have dream cars. Like, one day I would like to have this dog. I believe they're in the Labrador family. I could be incorrect there, but a Weimaraner. They're like, a Weimaraner is not a name you hear a lot for a dog, but
It's on my list.
they are like, they're pretty common dogs. They have a super, super cool coat. It's almost like a blue color.
It's like silver.
It's like silverish, bluish kind of, and they're super
called blue.
athletic.
blue.
It's
is
blue?
Is it blue?
Yeah. Yeah, that color hair is blue. So you can have like a blue pit bull, blue Weimaraner, like that's what color it is.
This guy's sharp.
And they're super smart. They're super athletic.
guy's
They got
sharp.
big, floppy, like ears that hang below their like jaw lines.
Only
and
weakness
great
is the
hunting
name.
dog. I know, that's just it.
Because
Like,
it's not something where it could be a mascot or you'd see it more
Right,
regularly
exactly.
because it really is a stunning, beautiful dog.
it's
If you have somebody in your house that has long hair, avoid the Weimaraner. They're
Why is
big
that?
time hair chewers.
are they?
Yeah, they're notorious about it. Like if you search up biggest problem with Weimaraner, usually it's going to be pulling somebody's hair out.
I think I can live with that since
Really?
my hair's
By the
Going
time
on.
you
I
get
don't
a
know what it
Weimaraner,
that I
They fucking
it'd
love
be
it.
perfect for me. But I think they're great dogs. They're like an athletic
That's-
version of a lab, I would say.
That's so fascinating that's this guy's thing.
it is
Long
right?
hair, you know,
I'm gonna
can't
chomp
have it
your
if you
hair.
want this
Loves
guy.
it, yeah. Yeah, you put your long hair in front of a Weimaraner, they're chewing it.
That's fucking fascinating. Weimar, this guy's sharp. I like it, Dave.
Yeah, they're great fucking dogs.
I heard they're
They're
like a
beautiful.
great family dog too.
Yeah.
All right, so it's back to me. I'm gonna take one that I also think is just like, you know, you think of when you think of a white picket fence, classic American dog. I'm gonna take the American Foxhound.
Yeah, they're good dogs.
Yeah, like I said, you think of just a nice, like, yeah, you're,
It's a cousin of George.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like a nice.
They're like brown
sharp-looking
though, right?
dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got some white in them. Yeah, you know, it's just like
I mean, he's like, yeah.
That was like a great everyday dog.
Yeah.
That's just an everyday dog.
yes,
Yep.
yes, exactly. It's a
No,
Ford Fusion, you know,
they're
it's a
great
Chevy
looking dogs. I think they're
Equinox.
athletic. They can play, and they definitely are like they're in that hound family with what I took with my dog.
That
so.
dog walks up, you're not going to not pet it.
Oh,
You're petting that
definitely.
dog.
You're definitely petting that dog. Yeah, it's a great dog.
friendly with everybody seems. So that's my pick. I'm going with the American Foxhound.
I like it.
Chaps, you're up.
All right, so I'm trying to build a little squad here where I think it just looks ridiculous whenever you walk up with all 5 of them on the leash. My next one, I'm going to go with the Basset Hound.
Oh, that was my next one.
I love a Basset Hound.
The
I mean,
big fucking ears.
if you can't sit on a couch, watch the Michael Jordan "The Air Up There" documentary while stroking a Basset Hound ears, you're no friend of mine, my friend.
Yeah, that was Patrick Sharp has that Basset Hound, so like that they always used to like play it like Blackhawks like related content stuff, and like love that dog. Like I love. Have you seen chaps where they have to like tie their ears or put them in a headband just so they can drink their water and eat their food because their
Yeah,
ears
flop
like
to the ground.
And it's-
flopped in there. Yeah, it's so cute. So
My buddy had one, and whenever it snowed in Virginia, and he was like out of town, I would dog sit it. And whenever it would come, I'd take him out for a walk. His ears would have like icicles on the bottom from walking and picking up snow along the way, and you'd have to like flake off the ice on the end of their ears. It was so.
Did you
he's
guys
so
use
cute.
them in the military at all? Because their noses? Are they
Basset
too-
hounds?
Yeah.
I think you're thinking a bloodhound. A basset
yeah,
hound
yeah.
is super short.
You're right. My fault. My
Oh
fault. My
fuck!
fault.
Did I just do it again? I mentioned
Kind
another
of,
dog.
but
did.
that was
It's
my
okay.
fault. That was my
I
fault.
got baited there.
Baited.
So
These ears are insane.
my next one. So that's 3 for me.
Yeah,
right?
you're up again.
My next one I am going to pick, and this is a shout out to my guy Gussie Boy from Heaven Above. It's a Ridgeback, a Rhodesian Ridgeback.
Rhodesian Ridgeback.
A lot of people say that that's what Ace is.
That's the one
My
I was
dog.
going to fuck around with, too, a little bit. I like that. There's
You know what they were bred for originally?
I do not.
killing lions.
That's exactly right. Because in the Rhodesian War, they had
Whoa.
all kinds of issues, and they were bred to kill lions.
Did you actually know that, or did you have that like ready to go?
Yeah.
Or am I being trolled right now?
No, I know that.
Yep.
It's another callback to another old dog walk.
Dave is stunned.
I'm gonna.
It's a sharp dog too. I mean,
Yeah.
sweet.
That's
pocket
what a lot of
dog.
Well,
people
they
say
got
aces.
that beautiful ridge on the back. They're called Ridgebacks because the way the hair converges on the back of the spine,
Yep.
it gives
Yeah,
the
like
impression.
tapers
It looks
down.
like it's
Yeah.
going backwards or something.
It gives the impression that it has like a Godzilla spine.
Yeah, when Gus is super excited, his like pops up. He's a no, I can't say what he is. He's a Ridgeback with another breed.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a good squad, chaps.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, it's back to me. I'm going to go with the only dog that I've ever had. It was a Chesapeake Bay Retriever.
Awesome fucking dogs. I can't believe someone took it.
He was a
They
wild
are
man.
fucking awesome
Yeah,
dogs.
He was a wild man. He was.
Just
thought-
absolutely gorgeous creature. I
really
love
are.
a Chesapeake.
absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful dogs.
That color is
It's not. There's nothing like it. There's
No, there's
like
not.
I can't think of another dog that looks like that.
You had
color.
one of these things yet?
I did, yeah. It
The
wasn't.
fuck outta
I
here.
swear to you, it wasn't pure.
They have like
His
that.
coat is gorgeous.
Yeah,
It's like
it's-
sheep.
It's like it is. It has like almost like
Yeah.
like a Labradoodle kind of looking, but it's not.
No, yeah. It's kind of looks like a little labbish too, like the face.
No, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It's
His
like a
teeth are
cousin.
made of
Yeah,
wool.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so he was. Yeah, so I had one of these, and my sister just brought it home from college one year.
Like this is ours now.
Yeah, exactly. So
Great water
and like I
dogs.
said, he was a maniac. I think Chaps, correct me if I'm wrong. Like he was definitely. He's not a guy destined for city life either. Really, like he's like a fucking like I think it's a good hunting dog if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're bred for, like duck hunting and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
Huge water dogs.
he was a good guy. So I have to shout out him.
Okay.
That's one thing. My two current dogs that I don't like. I can't confirm about AC, but I suspect it's true. My dad's dog, who is technically I brought him home. They hate water. Hate it. Won't get in water.
Really.
Which is a problem to me because I want to take him to the dog beach this summer and just throw him out there.
All right, Chesapeake
chase
Bay
balls in the
Retriever off the
lake.
board. Whitesoxdave, you're up again.
I got a few different directions I could go right now. I love this fucking dog, and I think Chief was kind of alluding to it earlier. I've seen them a ton recently, and they're big, dumb, happy dogs. They're great for the family. I'm going with the Bernese Mountain Dog.
I was. That is what it was.
Yeah, I assume
Good
that.
pick.
Shout out Erica Nardini.
They
Yep.
are just I don't want to call them dumb because I can't confirm that, but they're just so
It's another
happy go
big head
lucky.
dog.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
big dumb dogs.
Yeah, they're definitely not dumb. They're incredibly smart.
Okay, well there you go. That's even better. But just super chill, no aggression at all in them. They kind of look like a Saint Bernard a little bit, but just similar, same family maybe. I love them. They're
Same
great
colorway
dogs.
as a Saint Bernard.
The only thing, like, I don't know if I'd want one in the city because they're just so fucking big. They can get huge, like 150 pounds.
That's a good dog too. Great dog, like you said. All right, Bernese Mountain Dog off the board. Carl, you're up again.
I'm in the fourth round. This is brought to you by One Tail at a Time in Bucktown, 2144 Northwood, onetail.org for you Bucktown guys. All right, fourth round. I'm taking German Shorthaired. A German Shorthaired pointer. My wife grew up with one of these. I got to know them a little bit. They're unbelievably fucking great dogs. Loyal dogs. Take them off the leash. They'll chase shit. Come right back to you. Super playful. Super smart. Just like, not aggressive in the least bit unless, they think you're being fucked with. Literally could not find somebody who has a German Short-haired pointer to say that they're not their absolute favorite breed. So I'm taking a German Short-haired.
Fantastic dogs.
Thank you.
Great
Let me ask you this, Chief, because you got a pointer, kinda.
I mean, he's not.
I mean, he looks
They
like
thought
one.
he was a pointer, and then I met like a breeder. He's like, no, he's a Coonhound.
They're cousins, call
Yeah,
it.
for
but
sure. Yep.
like, I think that if someone broke into my house, Ace would just like roll over and say, "Pet my belly." He's such a pussy.
So George is kind of like that, but he has had two instances where he like defended a girlfriend when they were alone.
Were you getting physical or something?
I was in the grocery store.
You made it sound like that.
That is,
that's what it,
without a doubt, the worst slander in the history
I
of this
didn't
show.
slander you. I asked because that's what you made it sound like.
No, I was in the grocery store. The dog couldn't. We were on a walk. Dog couldn't go into the grocery store, obviously. So, she stayed outside with him on a bench, and like this kind of like guy who looked like maybe he was on drugs or something like was coming up and like getting too close, and George like got in between her
Love that about
and the
George.
guy and started like barking and growling. So I've only seen George growl. I only know of 2 times, and that was one of them. So
You got to take him to Starbucks and get a puppuccino in that moment. That's a good boy.
ran right back in and was like, okay, we're gonna get you a little something. So yeah, they have that. George has that in him. I don't know about the pointer, so
There we go. What a moment.
Yeah.
What a moment right there.
that was unbelievable.
I mean,
All
that's
right,
what
German,
you like.
German short-haired pointers off the board. Chief, you're up. Round out your draft. 1-5.
Okay. So I kind of want to have a little guy in there too, but all the little guys are kind of gone that I like. All right, well, I'll go with one that I knew I want to take, and it's another one that, like, I know this isn't going to play super great on the graphic. Same thing with the Greater Swiss, but I'm taking a Vizsla. So Wiesla, if you look it up, it's another German dog. They're beautiful looking. I think they're supposed to be very smart, but their nickname is the Velcro dog because they just want to cuddle you all the time.
There is sorry. Continue.
So I love like the idea of that too, and I just think like that's kind of a unique coat color, nose color. Like they're just like a beautiful looking dog, and they're a little bit. I think they're supposed to be like 50, 55 pounds, something like that, which I think is a really good size for a dog. And the number one reason why I would ever have a dog is for the cuddling. So if you tell me I have a dog that will stick to me like Velcro, I'm in.
There's this English dude at the dog park I go to that I see almost every day, and he's got a little. I couldn't understand what he was saying when I asked because it looks like a Weimaraner except the color of the coat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and the puppy she's probably
too.
12 pounds right now. She's a puppy. Her name's Tessa. And she's the most adorable dog of all time, and she comes and like curls around my leg, but she tries to like get into it with the bigger dogs, like play with them, but she's still too small. She's awesome. I love this dog, and that's
they're
what
actually
she is.
used for their working breed as well.
Have you ever had to work with them, chaps?
I have. There was a guy named Staff Sergeant Michael D. McGar, the biggest piece of shit that I've ever worked with, and he stepped on his dog's feet so he wouldn't have to go on missions in Fallujah. And tried to break his dog's feet. His name is Staff Sergeant Michael D. McGar was his name. And just the absolute worst, dude. I was a corporal at the time in E4.
Jesus.
I told him if I ever saw him do it again, that I would whoop his fucking ass while we were in a combat zone. That dude was garbage, but the dog was awesome. We took the dog from him, gave it to another handler, and had him train it. The dog was incredible tracker. Incredible.
Shit.
That's a terrible fucking story. What an asshole.
What? I mean, he's
Did
higher
he
than
get court-martialed for that?
They took his MOS away like after it because it was hard. It was really hard to substantiate it because we didn't have like cameras or anything like that. And it was like, you could see it out of the corner of your eye. Like, what the fuck is he doing? And I think I've mentioned, this might be the first time I've actually ever mentioned this story. So I went to a brief when I was in reconnaissance, and they said that this road that we were going to go down was the most dangerous road in the world at the time. It was you're going straight through the heart of Fallujah to a town called Karma. And there's tons and tons of IEDs on this road because that's where all the insurgents were like located in this tiny little town. And he was supposed to go with me as a spotter. Like I was going to be out in front looking for the bombs, setting shape charges and blowing it up in place, like while we moved ahead to the objective. Well, a couple hours before, he's like, I'm feeling sick. I'm not going to go. Can you let him know I'm not going to go? I was in E4, which is a pretty junior dude. And I was like, am I going to go tell the battalion commander that you're not going? Like, fuck no, I'm not doing that. Like, I'll get my ass chewed. And he didn't end up going. And that was the mission that I got shot on. I almost fucking died, and he didn't even go. Wow. He was a fucking coward.
Fuck this guy.
I hate this fucking guy.
Wow.
Yeah, he's the worst of the worst. Worst dude I ever worked with in my life.
Holy
Wow.
shit.
Worst person
All right.
you've ever met in your life. it sounds like.
Wiesla. Yeah.
Wiesla off the board. Chief,
So
your
good
final
pick, Chief.
Hey, thanks, chaps. Again, not a reflection on the dog, that fucking asshole. Okay, I'm just gonna go with a wiener dog. I'm taking a Dachshund. So I think those are funny dogs to look at. I've known a couple.
Hilarious.
And their bodies are just so fucking ridiculous, and that they drag like the little legs, the long body, and then they still somehow have like this round pot belly a lot of times too. And you just want to rub that belly as they lay there. And I do like. I like having a small dog around too. So I've never owned a small dog, but I've dated girls that have had a Dachshund and a French, and I like the idea of like a 20-25 pound dog, and I need a little guy to round out my crew, and I'm taking the Dachshund. I feel real good about it.
I love that.
Yeah, they're just ridiculous looking, and that's
Yep.
That's part of the fun of having a dog is that sometimes you just have ridiculous looking dogs.
You
The
look-
conversation starts.
You look like you're ready to get roasted or something. Like you had that face on where it's like.
No, I mean it's probably
gonna
my
say something.
I wanted the Basset Hound for that role, for that smaller dog role. But I'm very happy with the Dachshund and wiener dog.
All right.
The Dachshund and those type of little dogs with the little belly that you're talking about, there's nothing like rubbing that just little, like when they have their legs up and they're laying on their back and you're holding them like a baby and you can just rub that little belly. It's so soft, man. Like it's the best. I never thought I would like little dogs, but Baby Dale Woohoo has changed that for me big time.
Yeah, so
Beautiful.
I like my list. Obviously it's my list, but I got both of my dogs and then like one of my favorite like little guys.
There you go. Dachshund off the board. Carl, your final pick is?
Brought to you by the Anti-Cruelty Society in River North, which is located at 510 North LaSalle, anticruelty.org. My pick, last pick, I'm taking the Queen's dog. I'm taking Corgis. I had this vision of myself as an old man being followed around by like 4 or 5 Corgis at all times. Like, this is part of my retirement plan. I love a royal dog. Queen Elizabeth has had this dog in service, this breed in service, I want to say, for like 6 decades now, 7 decades. If it's good enough for the English family, it's good enough for me. But in all seriousness, a Corgi, sporty, fun, tiny, playful, pairs well with my French Bulldog. My German Shorthaired and my Golden Retriever pair well, and then I've got the Husky. So round out with a Corgi, the royal dog.
There we go.
You have a Corgi, and you video it walking across the living room. That video is going viral. Like, everything about a Corgi just screams viral video.
They're gorgeous.
They're
It just
funny.
is so
I like
adorable.
corgis. They got vibrant personalities. They're just great. I love them.
They are very confident dogs, right?
It seems like they're always smiling. Is that weird to say?
Yeah.
Like, it seems
No,
like a Corgi.
that's not weird to
Corgi's
say at all.
always. It's always showing his teeth, but
I
in like
agree.
a good way.
I agree. They do smile. Certain dogs smile.
Yeah.
They definitely smile. And did you know that dogs are the only breed or the only species in the animal kingdom that has learned to read other species' eyes besides humans?
Really?
Did not know that, chaps.
That's
They
a fun
can
fact.
they can read how your eyes are.
So everybody's trying to like round out their
White Sox, Dave,
list.
you're up.
Everyone's trying to round out their list with like toy dogs right now. I'm not going to go that direction. I didn't have any toys other than a Corgi on my list. Is that considered a toy dog, by the way?
I have
think
no idea.
Close enough. They're smaller. I'm going to go with a Rottweiler for my last pick.
Nice.
Awesome fucking dogs. They obviously are aggressive if they're handled poorly, if they like came up poorly, I should say. But if any of us owned a Rottweiler, they'd be just like a big ass lab
teddy
that
bear dog too.
has the ability to rip your face off if anybody were to fuck with you. Kind of in the same light as a German Shepherd or a Belgian Malinois, I should say. Really smart. I don't think they live too long, unfortunately, but just a great dog. Very beautiful, but they look very intimidating. Probably the most intimidating looking dog, I'd say.
Oh, yeah. These are they the quintessential guard dog more than,
I would say a Doberman too.
Yeah, I'd say
so.
Doberman. But Rottweiler's in the same category there. I think it's like half a dozen or 6 in the hand.
Glennie has a Rottweiler?
Yeah, Glennie's got a Rottweiler.
Okay.
She just had surgery on a torn ACL.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, you're right. Rottweiler. Anything against a Rottweiler, chaps?
No, I think they're great dogs. I think that what Dave is saying about them having a bad personality if they're handled poorly, I think that goes for a lot of the aggressive breeds. It's all in how they're brought up or bred. I mean, you can have some dogs that have a natural disposition to be more aggressive in nature because of the way that they're bred and their bloodlines. But 9 times out of 10, it's you have a Rottweiler or you have a pit bull and you teach it to play tug of war. And that's what people want to do. They see a little 4-month-old Rottweiler, like, oh, here's a shirt. Let's play tug of war. That tug of war game is exactly how we train aggression into dogs, is by doing that. So people do that and they're like, why is my dog so aggressive? Like, you taught him how to be. Like, you taught it to be aggressive.
All right, Rottweiler's off the board. My final pick. I don't know. You could tell me if this is going to be allowed or not. You may not like it either. But I've always fucking loved KFC's dog, Duncan. It was a golden doodle.
I think that's allowed. They're basically a breed of their own at this point.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I will say,
Golden Doodle?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a totally different breed. Yeah, I think that's allowed for sure.
Okay.
I will say though, they're an exceptionally cute puppy. I don't think they're as cute when they grow up.
You don't think so?
1,000% agree with
when
that.
they're adult dogs, I don't think like an adult golden doodle is as cute as a golden retriever or a lab or anything like that. I think that they lose.
Hypoallergenic, though. There's
That's
something to be
true.
said
That's
for
true.
that.
It's considered hair, not fur, if I'm not mistaken.
What's
Is
that
that
mean?
right?
What's that mean, chaps?
There's not as much dander. So, for instance, the Portuguese Water Dog, that's the reason why President Obama got the Portuguese Water Dog, because both of his daughters have really terrible allergies. So if you got a hyperallergenic dog, they don't have as much pet dander. And so their skin is different than normal, like dogs that shed all the time and they'll leave like their dander around. So you don't have as many allergy issues with those types of
Now
dogs.
that you brought up presidential dogs, are President Biden's dogs, are those Malinois or are those shepherds?
Those are shepherds.
Those are shepherds. Beautiful fucking dogs. Beautiful dogs.
They actually got shit on by Newsmax. Did you see that?
I did not.
No.
Newsmax had a whole segment where they were talking about how those dogs weren't fit to go into the Oval Office because they look like mutts. Like, you pieces of shit. How dare you?
I was gonna save this for if someone said that. Mutts are the best, by the way. I love mutts.
Both of my dogs are
same.
mutts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
I
all
don't
got
know
mutts.
what.
Yeah,
I think he's a boxer, a Rhodesian Ridgeback, and a little bit of pit.
that's. I would say Ace is. They told me he was boxer. What was the fucking other one?
Did you have his 23andMe done?
I could, but it's like $150, but I don't
And
really
then they
give a
collect
shit.
your DNA, and the next thing you know, you end up in a criminal database.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Golden Doodle, like I said, I don't know. I just always liked Duncan. I thought KFC's dog was sweet, and I don't have anything really left on my board, so that's my final pick.
Okay.
Chaps, who is Mr. or Mrs. Irrelevant?
I am going to go with the Cane Corso. They were originally bred to be standing guard with the Roman soldiers. They are beautiful, and I think that they are the most intimidating looking dog.
Yo,
there
this is
Yeah.
fucking what's his face's dog from Game of Thrones, right? Isn't this?
Ramsey Bolton.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
Is
are
it?
all Cane Corsos.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just figured that was like a pit bull that they made look way bigger. I didn't know the
and
actual
those
name.
dogs are Cane Corso can get up to like 160 pounds. They are huge.
This thing looks like a fucking bear.
So I will say that. So they obviously do the thing where they doctor up the ears like surgically, in some of these pictures, which is kind of sick in my opinion. But when
Yeah,
they
I hate that too.
When they have, and they do that with Great Danes too. But when I've seen a few of these pictures of scrolling through where they have like their normal full ears, they're adorable. Like they're
They are.
scary but adorable.
Yep.
It seems
they
like
are-
all the pictures are so much of them with their ears cut off. Is there a health reason?
Nope, it's
just
just
a
an
style.
intimidation factor. It's the same thing they do with Doberman Pinschers. They do it.
Great
They do that all the time. I can't stand it, man.
It's-
You know what's even worse
like
than the
inhumane.
ears? The ears thing is bad. The docking of the tail is
I never understood
one
that.
of the most cruel practices. Docking of the tail, it is the same exact thing as removing a portion of your spine.
Yeah, that's
like there's spinal fluid in their tail. My dog Saika, he was a spinner because he was so crazy, had so much energy, and he would like the working dogs stay in an all cement building, and so he spun around so much that his tail got ripped up raw. And I walked in one morning and it was like a scene from Hostel in his kennel. There's just blood everywhere, like the floor, the walls, the ceiling, all had blood on it. He had to get his tail removed. We took him to, when I went to Iraq, I was in a place called Camp Bahariya. There is a big castle where Saddam Hussein's son used to live, and they used to dump bodies of like Olympians whenever they wouldn't perform well. They would kill them and throw them into these rivers, into this lake. Well, Saika, after a while, after they cleaned out all the lake, Saika would jump in and swim. And we used to swim together all the time in Okinawa because it was an island. We would take him to the beach and he would go in these little streams and all kinds of stuff. But he didn't go swimming since he got his tail cut off. He jumped off the dock and just started swimming in circles, because they use their tail as a rotor of where to go. And if you remove it, it's like removing a limb. And people do it for cosmetic purposes. And I think it's beyond fucked up to do that.
That is fucked up. I never knew that dogs use their tails that way.
Yeah,
when they're
just watch
swimming.
them.
Yeah, I guess
Yep.
I never noticed.
We're taking
Just like
our dogs to
a
the
little
dog
rotor,
beach
just
this summer.
steers them
by the way.
around.
Montrose Beach, Dog Beach, or
I don't think
Montrose Harbor
George
Dog
will
Beach.
do it.
It's
I think
all
he'll-
enclosed and everything.
He's
It's an
afraid of like the heating vent. I think he'll be afraid of a giant body of water. We'll see.
Are you more or less likely to get a dog now, Ed?
Honestly, more. I'll be honest with you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was. I mean,
You got to
number
get through
one-
the puppy stage, which is a lot of work.
No, but number one though, I think everyone should have someone like Chaps right there who's so informative about
unbelievable.
stuff. It's
Yeah.
like people need that.
You
shit.
get a dog, Eddie, and I'll come on dog walk whenever you want, and I'll give you training tips.
Well, I was thinking while you were talking about
appreciate
this,
that.
Chaps, I would watch a video series of you going around the country and working with like Stooley's dogs that have like real bad problems or something. Like if there's some like Chaps is going to come help your dog, I would definitely tune into that.
Chaps, I got a question.
It's tough because if you have bigger dogs, some people are really apprehensive about some of the training techniques that you need to do to get a bigger dog in line. And it is, you don't want to see it. Like physical corrections for dogs, nobody wants to do it. But when you have, especially if you're adopting, for instance, if Dave went out and got like a shepherd that weighs 90 pounds and the dog has aggressive tendencies, there's a way that you have to establish yourself as the alpha of that relationship. And you're not going to do it just verbally. They have to respect you physically. So the way that you put physical corrections on dogs sometimes is that you don't want to see it on video, and it can be taken out of context. So it's really
Can you
dangerous
give an example?
to do that.
Yeah,
for example, in training, there's two different methods of training primarily that you have. You have a convulsive method, which is going to be physical pain to the dog. And then you have inducive method, which would be primarily praise driven and positive reinforcement. You have positive reinforcement and then a negative correction. Well, a negative correction could be a tug on the choke chain, for example. People use choke chains all the time very incorrectly. They use it to actually choke the dog, where they'll pull it steady. Instead of, it's supposed to be a pop, where you pull it and it pop, and it's the noise of the choke chain that hits into their ear and it creates a sharp sound in their ear. It doesn't hurt physically. It creates a sound that they hate. So then you can reestablish that sound with your sharp verbal correction. You pair them together. So then when the dog is off leash, you can correct the dog the same way you would with a choke chain on, with only your voice. That's the reason why you do that. But then if you're doing stuff physically with the dog, people don't want to see that. So if you have a dog that's going to attack you, for example, it's really aggressive, you have to establish yourself as the dominant figure in that relationship, or you're going to get attacked. And if you can't do that by being gentle. So people just don't want to see that. For example, Psycho, one time when we first started doing aggression training, he came up leash at me and bit me underneath the armpit. Well, I immediately strung him up and looked at him straight into the face while his eyes were like going out, while he was choking out. And then you put him back down on the ground, and then you calmly good. Like, you get air because I allow you to have it.
Okay. Interesting. That's
you're
crazy.
right. That'd be hard to do on video.
Yeah, okay, I take that back. But anytime, man, I might text you for some
real quick.
Yeah, I might text you for some tips though.
I didn't know that about the choke. Like, I've never gotten George one because I'm like, that seems like cruel. But if it's just this, if it's like doing it like you're saying, like the pop and the sound, it doesn't hurt him, then I might do that, because he kind of sucks.
You just
on
do
walks
it like
in the
you
winter.
put it on. And people do it backwards all the time. Like, there's a correct way to put it on. Like, people think that it's interchangeable. You just put the choke chain on. The bottom part is supposed to be the solid aspect of the choke chain, and then there's supposed to be a dangly part.
Yeah.
And so then when you jerk the dangly part, it makes this sharp sound into the dog's ear. It does apply a little bit of pain, but not anything that's really going to affect the dog. It's primarily the sound that affects them whenever they do it. And then those pinch collars, if you have a pinch collar on your dog, you should go to jail. Unless you are actually training your dog and you know what you're doing, it is beyond cruel what people do with pinch collars, because they apply steady pressure, and that's not what those are designed for at all. At all. It's just beyond mean.
This is great, chaps. A lot of good information for people. I'm going to run through the picks one more time. Then we'll do some honorable mentions. We'll get out of here. Chief, Labrador Retriever, Coonhound, Greater Swiss Mountain Dog, Vizsla, Dachshund, Dachshund. Sorry, my apologies. Carl, Golden Retriever, Siberian Husky, French Bulldog, German Shorthaired Pointer, Corgi, Whitesoxdave, German Shepherd, Boxer, Weimaraner. Did I say that right? Weimaraner. Bernese Mountain Dog, Rottweiler, Eddie, English Bulldog, St. Bernard, American Foxhound, Chesapeake Bay Retriever, Golden Doodle, Uncle Chaps, Belgian Malinois, Australian Shepherd, Basset Hound, Ridgeback, and Cane Corso. Chaps, any honorable mentions here?
Yeah, I do have an honorable mention. I think one of the cutest dogs that doesn't get picked up a whole lot is a Neapolitan Mastiff. Those dogs are just beyond cute. They are so adorable. Any Mastiff I love as well. Great Danes too. If you have a family, you want a big dog, there's none better than a Great Dane.
They're like labs, but they're like 5,000 pounds.
They're huge.
The gentlest creatures in the
great.
world. They're just so nice.
My buddy has two of them, and when my dog was a puppy, his dog was like 130, 40 pounds, something like that. And the dog would just lay on its back and let George just kind of like jump all over him, and like they would play, but the dog had not an ounce of aggression, and he just let kind of George do whatever he wanted to him. So
shout out Moose.
Shout out to Moose.
Also, my last one, super big shout out, can't do this, super big shout out to all Old English Bulldogs, especially if their names are Nana. Shout out Hook and Peter Pan.
Carl, any Chief Whitesoxdave?
I had a blue heeler. That's basically an Aussie Shepherd. They're cattle dogs. They're also from Australia. That's what my dad's dog is, Guinness. He is insanely smart. The easiest dog I've ever trained personally in my life. Obviously, that's not like Chaps or anything, so it's not saying much, but awesome dog. I had Dalmatian. I had Newfoundland. The rest were picked.
My sister has a King Charles Cavalier, which is a great dog, and they were bred to just be like a lap dog, and it's like 35, 40 pounds, and it's like the chillest dog, sweetheart. I think that might be hypoallergenic too. They don't really shed. And then the one I love that I would love to have someday that I didn't pick is, have you ever seen the movie Turner and Hooch, Tom Hanks? Yeah. Okay, that's called a Dog de Bordeaux. And it's just this like big, it kind of looks like a Mastiff a little bit, but similar coloring to the Vizsla too. So maybe I just like that color in dogs. But it's the same thing. It's got like a big wrinkly head, and you just want to like grab them and like
and drool like a gallon a minute.
Yeah. There you go.
You could like grease your engine with their drool. Just collect it.
Anything? All right. Yeah. This was good. The dog breed draft.
Pit bulls are good dogs. I'll say that. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, we'll keep it at that. I mean, I don't have like a negative take. I'm just saying it's pretty impressive that we did like over an hour on dogs and no one really argued about pit bulls because I think that's that's a common thing, hot topic, hot button issue. But no, this was good. I'm going to be thinking about Carl the dog for the rest of the day, chaps. I hope he's all right whatever happened to him. That's horrible, but I'm sure Carl, the real Carl, the human Carl, is going to write a blog on all the shelters too, so that was good shout outs.
I love that. That was awesome.
Good move by you.
Yep.
And I think that's it. Thanks, chaps. This was great, really informational as well. That's Talking Dogs. Thanks everybody for listening. That's it for today. We'll see you tomorrow.